18 months ago, two students named Jude and Claire started building their credit at the exact same time. Both had a starting credit score of 0. Same university, same first year, same part-time job at the campus cafe paying the same hourly rate. Jude spent those 18 months obsessed with fixing his credit fast, researching every method online, paying a credit repair company every single month, checking his score app 5 times a day. Claire did, as far as anyone could tell, almost nothing. Today, the one who did almost nothing has a 720 credit score. Jude is sitting at 590. And here's the part that should bother you. That's not the exception. That's the rule. I met Jude at a study session where he pulled out his phone to show me his credit repair app like it was something to be proud of. Across the table, Claire was eating a sandwich and said nothing about credit at all. So I did the thing I spend too much of my time doing. I investigated all 8 of the ways students and recent graduates actually try to build credit, ran the real numbers on every single one, and watched 5 of them quietly fall apart. By the end of this video, I will show you the exact trap Jude fell into, and whether you are already standing in it. My name is TJ, and I have spent an embarrassing amount of time figuring out why some students escape the credit trap, while everyone else keeps trying harder and getting nowhere. If you are a student or recent graduate who is tired of trying things that promise to fix your credit fast and watching your score stay exactly where it is, hit subscribe, because today we are separating the methods that actually move your score from the ones that just feel like they should. Quick disclaimer before we go further, I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. This is just someone who checked the actual research, so you do not have to. Here is the one idea you need before we start. Every credit building method has a story and a result. The story is the one student it worked for, the one screenshot, the one comment, the one before and after post you see online. The result is what actually happens to a normal student or recent graduate who tries it. Influencers sell you the story. You live with the result. I am going to call that the story gap. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And here is why it matters more than it looks. The most valuable thing you have right now is not money, it is time. Every month you spend on a method that does not work is a month of credit history you can never get back. Credit history length makes up 15% of your score. Getting these 8 methods sorted is not just useful information, it is the difference between starting your credit clock now and starting it a year from now after wasting time and money on things that do not move the needle. Let's start with the worst one. Method number 1, paying a credit repair company. The pitch is simple. Pay a monthly fee and someone else fixes your credit for you. You do not have to do any of the work. Just sit back and watch the score go up. For a student or recent graduate who is stressed about their credit and does not know where to start, this sounds like the perfect solution. Here is the problem. By law, a credit repair company cannot remove accurate negative information from your credit report. If you missed a payment, that missed payment stays. No company can legally erase it early, no matter what they promise you. Most of what these companies do is send the exact same dispute letters you could send yourself, for free, in about 20 minutes. Jude paid $40 a month for 6 months to a credit repair company. That is $240. His score moved 11 points. He could have done more than that himself, for nothing. That is method 1, a real cost. For a result any student can get themselves for free. Method number 2, applying to several cards at once hoping one approves you. This is the panic move. You get rejected once, so instead of figuring out why, you apply to 3 more cards in the same week, hoping one says yes. Each application creates a hard inquiry on your credit report. Each hard inquiry can drop your score by 5 to 10 points. On a brand new file with almost nothing positive on it, 3 or 4 inquiries in 1 week can do real damage before you have even been approved for anything. You are not improving your odds. You are making your file look riskier with every single click. This is especially damaging for students and recent graduates because your file is so thin that each negative mark takes up a much larger proportion of everything on it. The same inquiry that barely affects a 40-year-old with 20 years of credit history can genuinely hurt a 20-year-old with 6 months of it. Method number 3, carrying a small balance on purpose. This myth has been floating around student finance groups for years. Someone tells you that keeping a small balance on your card, instead of paying it off completely, somehow helps your score. That the credit bureaus want to see you managing debt, not avoiding it. It is completely false. There is no version of this that is true. Carrying even $30 on a card charging 24% interest costs you real money every single month for zero credit benefit. None. Paying your full balance every month is always better for your score and for your wallet. Every student and recent graduate should know this, and almost none of them do. Method number 4. Debt settlement programs. Some students with a few $100s of credit card debt see ads promising to settle that debt for less than they owe. The pitch sounds incredible. Pay less than what you actually owe. Here is what actually happens. These programs often tell you to stop paying your creditors directly while you save up money for the settlement. While you are not paying, your account goes delinquent. That delinquency gets reported to the bureaus. Your score drops, sometimes badly, before any settlement even happens. And there is no guarantee your creditor agrees to settle at all. For a student or recent graduate with a thin file, one delinquency during this process can drop a score by 60 to 100 points. That is the kind of damage that takes 2 years of clean behavior to recover from. Method number 5. Credit identity tricks. This is the most dangerous one on the list. Some people online suggest using a different identification number instead of your own social security number to apply for credit, calling it a fresh start or a credit privacy number. This is not a hack. It is fraud. It can lead to serious legal consequences, and it does nothing to build your actual credit history. Walk away from anyone suggesting this to you, especially if you are a student or a recent graduate just starting out and feeling desperate for a solution. Now, quick favor before we get into what actually works. If this video is connecting dots for you, hit the like button. It is free, it takes 1 second, and it tells the algorithm that students and recent graduates actually want real answers about credit instead of the same vague advice that does not help anyone. Okay, back to it. If you are sitting there thinking nothing on this list works, good. Sit in that for 1 second. Because that is exactly the moment most students give up and try something even more expensive. The truth is simpler than that. 3 things on this list genuinely work. They just do not trend. Because nobody can sell you a course on something this straightforward. Method number 6. The first thing that actually works. A credit builder loan. A credit builder loan works backwards from a normal loan. Instead of getting money up front, you make small monthly payments, usually between $15 and $30, into a locked savings account. Once you finish all your payments, you get that money back. The whole time, your on-time payments get reported to all 3 credit bureaus every single month. This is especially effective for students and recent graduates who have no credit history at all, because it builds the single biggest factor in your score, payment history, without requiring you to spend money you do not have. Self and Kickoff are 2 well-known options that work in the USA. Both report to all 3 bureaus. Both cost under $30 a month. Both give you your money back at the end. Claire used a credit builder loan for 12 months. She paid $25 a month. She got $300 back at the end. And she had 12 months of perfect payment history sitting on her credit report. Method number 7. Joining a credit union. Most students and recent graduates apply for their first credit card through one of the big national banks, Chase, Bank of America, Capital One. These banks have very strict automated approval systems. If your file is thin or your score is low, the algorithm says no before a human ever looks at your application. Credit unions work differently. A credit union is a nonprofit financial institution owned by its members, not by shareholders. Because they are not driven by profit the same way traditional banks are, credit unions typically have more flexible approval criteria for students and recent graduates with thin files or lower scores. They look at the full picture of who you are as a member, not just a number on a screen. Many universities and colleges have their own credit unions specifically for students and staff. If yours does, that is the first place to look. Navy Federal Credit Union and Alliant Credit Union are 2 well-known options in the USA that are open to a broader membership. Both are known for approving members with limited credit history who would be rejected by traditional banks. Claire joined her university credit union in her first semester. She opened a savings account with $50. 6 months later, she applied for their student credit card and was approved with a $350 limit. The same application at a major national bank would almost certainly have been rejected. Method number 8. Rent reporting. If you are a student or recent graduate paying rent every month, that payment almost certainly does not appear on your credit report at all, even though you are paying it on time, every single month, without fail. A free tool called Experian Boost lets you connect your bank account and scan for rent payments, phone bill payments, and utility payments you have already been making. Those payments get added to your Experian credit file, often within minutes. For students and recent graduates who have been paying rent for a year or more, this can add months of positive payment history to a file that had almost none. Claire signed up for Experian Boost in the same week she joined her credit union. Between the two moves, her file went from almost empty to showing over a year of consistent, positive payment behavior within 60 days. Now let us go back to the study session. 18 months later, Jude has 6 screenshots of the times his score moved up slightly. He will happily show you 0 of the months it went sideways or down, and a credit score that is basically where he started. He spent 18 months as the most credit-active student anyone knew, and the scoring system quietly gave his progress to people who never opened a credit repair app. Claire is still eating her sandwich. She also signed up for a credit builder loan at $25 a month, joined her university credit union, and set up Experian Boost in the same afternoon. She did nothing loud, she did everything quiet, and she is now sitting 130 points ahead of the student who tried harder than anyone else. Here is what I actually need you to hear. Jude is not dumb, and you are not dumb if you have tried one of the 5 methods that do not work. The whole system is built to point students and recent graduates toward the expensive options, because somebody makes money every time you pay a monthly fee, apply for a card you do not qualify for, or buy into a settlement program. Nobody makes a dime when you quietly join your university credit union and go back to your coursework. So let me give you permission to be boring, to pick the 3 things that actually work and just do them. The students and recent graduates who end up with strong credit are not smarter than you. They just stopped chasing the story and started building the actual result. Pick the boring 3 and start one this week. Sign up for Experian Boost today. Look into a credit builder loan this week. Check if your university has a credit union before the month is out. Because 18 months from now, you will be 18 months older either way. The only question is whether you spent them like Jude or like Claire. If this video sparked something in you, if you realized you have been paying for something that was never going to work, do me a favor and share it with one student or recent graduate who needs to hear this. They deserve to know it too. And hit subscribe, because we are going to keep breaking down exactly how the credit system works until none of it can surprise you anymore. I will see you in the next one.